Indeed, greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again on another live stream, another video, another moment, another experience that we get to share with one another. Man, I feel like this is becoming a trend because yesterday I talked about this as well. But on today's front page, I think for the first time ever, there was an actual promotional post. So Samsung unboxing or Samsung whatever, their unboxing division, their new device division, basically paid for a slot on RPAN. I'm not sure if they paid for the slot to be on the front page or to be the number one stream, but people are not happy. Like I literally stayed in that comment section for 30 seconds, and in that 30 seconds I saw a majority people being like, what is this, why is this, what is happening, why is it happening? And I even commented myself, look at how they massacred my boy, looking at Arpan. On the other hand though, something that I can say about it, maybe it's a good thing. I know it's hard to see advertisements as good things, but maybe it is a good thing. Maybe, if anything, it can create some sort of awareness within other companies that RPAN is something that's up and coming. I believe in RPAN. Hopefully the companies will as well. Nothing outside of you has any effect on your soul. You are not a victim. Jesse and Edmund. Oh, it's really melting my heart to see you today, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, my friend? What am I convincing you of? I left that actually very ambiguous for that exact question, Edmund. Try and convince me of something, no matter what it is you want to convince me of. Try and convince me, even if it's something that I wouldn't believe ever. Especially then, try and convince me, because then I get to see your reasoning for something. Edmund, I miss you. You too, Mel. We miss you as well, Jesse. It's so nice to have you here today. I've been thinking about you, friend. How have you been? I'm sure you're talking to Jesse. I hope you've been well, Jesse. How's your studies going? How are you doing? Are you keeping up? Are you keeping your head above water? Know that we've been thinking about you and sending you love. Nothing outside of you has any effect on your soul. You are not a victim. So now I know there's some of you friends and like, what is a soul? Is a soul even something that's real? Does it exist? How am I supposed to know what a soul is? This word soul, I feel, can kind of be replaced by a bunch of things. Consciousness can be one of them, awareness can be one of them, the knowing being duality can be that as well. I think it's just the underlying force of everything, the part of you that doesn't change, the part of you that continues after you pass away. And nothing on this plane of existence can affect your soul. Can maybe perturb your soul, can maybe stir you up a little bit, but it can't affect it directly. You, on the other hand, very much can. But you are not a victim. It's so easy to make yourself a victim in so many scenarios as well. It's the easy way out, it's an excuse. I'm here to convince you to dry your hair. Damn it, I don't want to dry my hair. I did actually dry it. Did I dry it yesterday? No, I didn't. The day before yesterday, I dried it a little bit. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. At least to me, it feels like I'm just destroying my hair with the heat. And then I'm like way too in my own head because of that. And I'm like, do I want to be doing this? Do I want to just leave my hair to dehydrate by themselves? I've been really good, just healing and making moves in life. I hope you're doing great. Have you moved yet? Unfortunately, and I'm sure, yes, Edwin is going to let you know as well. It's great, Jesse. No, unfortunately, my move has been delayed for another year. There we go. I wanted to say that as well, Edwin. Thank you for letting her know. Dan Melfam, thank you for joining us, my friend. It's so nice to have you here as well. Sunsane says, my stream keeps freezing. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Simon. Have you updated your RPAN app recently? Because I'm now 50% convinced that it's not on my side that the streams are glitching, but the actual RPAN side that streams glitch. And it goes in and out of efficiency, if you will, where it works sometimes and then sometimes it just keeps glitching over and over again. And then by the time you kind of figure out how far you're behind, it like there's like literally because of that like 5 second gap, 5 second gap, 5 second gap, you'll see people saying things or responding to messages in chat and you'll be like, what are these people talking about? What do they know that I don't know? And then you hear something and then you see their answers and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely behind as well. Glad it's not just me though. I was getting really frustrated with my phone. Oh, it's for everyone. So, okay. I feel now especially this is a good time to bring this up. I think, and do bear with me and let me know what you think about this, friends. I think I want to start broadcasting from my footage phone as well. Instead of just taking video, just as I'm doing now and then uploading it to YouTube, potentially streaming to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time on this phone. And I feel I want to do this for you, friends, more than anything, just so that you don't have to deal with shit like that, glitching over and over and over again. Like I feel this is something that has to be addressed, and I don't know if RPAN has any plans of addressing it anytime soon, but I do believe Twitch and YouTube has it kind of figured out. The technology is just like 12 years old or whatever. Throwing some shade on RPAN. I love you, RPAN. I love you, my friends. At least, hopefully, with that Samsung money you got just now, there's gonna be some changes happening to RPAN. I'm sure. I'm very sure. Well, maybe it isn't time, Ed. Divine timing is so real. Who knows why things don't happen or on our agenda, but what's meant for you won't miss you, friend. Very well put. Thank you for saying that as well. I believe the same thing, Jesse. And there is no loss. There is no being a victim in this life. And this is something I've been becoming super aware of. It's just how, in the moment, potentially negative experiences can have such beneficial experiences down the line. And the more I age, I guess, the more mistakes I make, the more unpleasant experiences I have, the more I get to learn from those unpleasant experiences. And I'm starting to edge over to the point where I realize what I think of as bad experience is just a learning experience at the end of the day. And I think maybe, as you said, that Edmund still has something to learn where he is right now. Maybe he has someone's life who he needs to touch where he is right now. And then after that is done, he can move on as well. What do you want convincing about? I was just saying the same thing to Edmund, Cable. I left that question especially ambiguous so that whatever it is you want to convince me of, you should convince me of. Because I want to hear your, redenasi, your understanding, your articulation of what it is you believe and why you think I should believe that thing. Even though I won't believe it, maybe, I would still like to learn from you in your way of trying to get me to believe. Maybe in doing so, I get better at believing or get better at saying believable things. Yeah. You're so right, Jesse. Kevel, I was listening to your stream for a bit today. Kevel is nog a dude. He's a really cool guy. What did you think? Have you tuned into Kevel streams before, Simon? Would you be into dating a beautiful man? RJ Starlight, thank you so much, my friend. Before I take a sip of this water, let me finish what I want to say. I appreciate the offer slash willingness for you to hook me up with an attractive man, if you will. But I, one, do not swing the other way. And two, I I'm not ready for a relationship right now, friend. I still have a lot of growing to do, and I think for now, maybe for a while at least, I'm going to opt out of long distance relationships. And I'm probably going to be at a distance for a while. So, no relationships with me. You are convincing me of patience today. Stream is glitchy AF. It's okay though. I will be patient. It will start working. I believe with you. Maybe, Yader. Maybe. And this is not something I think we've ever done. Maybe if I try to restart the stream and then come back, it will be better. Really testing me today. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to watch a stream that is glitchy. And for that reason as well, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and start actually streaming, to the other streaming platforms as well, so that if you friends realize, oh, RPAN is absolute trash again, you can just open it up on YouTube, for example. The only problem is then I won't be able to read the RPAN comments. No, I'm still going to be able to read the RPAN comments, but I won't be able to read the YouTube/Twitch comments, or it would be very inconvenient, if you will, for you to have to flip back. I mean, it's easy if you have more than one device, but I can't exactly expect that of everyone. Oh, we are here together. We'll get through it together. I know Melt is saying some great stuff. I just wish I could hear it. Okay. I'm going to stop it and I'll start it right back up. It's going to take but a second. Let's see if it helps. Dump. Drop one. Dump. Dump. Oh goodness.
Can do with that.
Did I actually copy the message? That's the thing I'm wondering about now. Paste? I didn't. Oh man, oh damn it, oh. Try and convince me. Day 223, try and convince me. Day 223, try and convince me. There we go. I was about to say, I'm sure there's a rhyme in there somewhere. Donk, donk. Okay. This is gonna be the one. While we wait, I'm gonna think about an intention for a while as I'm drinking water today. You know what energy I kind of practiced today? The energy of getting things done without saying anything about it. So I had to do a bunch of stuff for my mom today, and I basically learned, I gained this information at 7 o'clock this morning. My mom was like, okay, this needs to happen, and then after you're done with this thing, then this thing needs to happen. And I started to calculate. I'm like, okay, so first thing's gonna take me like an hour and a half, maybe. Second thing, maybe like just an hour or so. So I'm gonna be busy like 2 to 3, doing like these calculations. And instead of just kind of postponing it or like complaining to my mom about, I don't want to do this, I was just like, you know what? I got up, I took my speaker with me, I took everything I needed, all of the measuring cups and stuff, and I just kind of got into it. Just did it, and it helps. It really did help. I think I felt better about just doing it than I do about saying anything about it. I hope my mom knows that I actually did do it, because I didn't even open the message. I feel kind of bad. I opened it like the scroll down method, if you will. You scroll a little bit down and then you see the entire message, and you can scroll back up and you can have read the message without having to actually open it. Hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise. Hopefully this thing isn't glitching. What do you call the energy when you just do something without having to say something, without having to think about it, without having to feel what you feel about it, just going in and doing it? I feel it could be a dangerous energy as well. Don't want to always be like that. Maybe drive? Just drive? Is drive the right word? Momentum is not the right word. Acceleration is not the right word. Vuma? Is Vuma the right word? I don't know. What do you call that energy? I wish I could Google it now. You should tell me, friend, if you know. What do you call the energy of just doing something? I freaking, if you say Nike, I'm gonna climb through this phone and fight you up. um, uh, maybe there has to be more than one word or something. Persistence is if you continue doing something without necessarily having to say something about it. Where's Simon right now? Simon would know these words. Enthusiasm? Could it be enthusiasm? Excitement? Hello again, Edmund. I hope it's better. I hope it's not glitching every 5 seconds. It might still be doing that. And if it is still doing that, that is also completely okay. I'm trying to figure out how you would define the feeling slash energy of getting up and just doing something without necessarily having to say something about it to anyone, giving confirmation that you will do it, giving confirmation that you want to do it, like without all of that extra baggage, just doing it. I'm trying to figure out what would you call that act of just doing it. I feel enthusiasm slash Vuma slash drive. Those words kind of. Sad face, it's still bad, Edmund. I mean, we can't have good days all of the time, right? Yesterday we have a very good day. Today we're going to have less of a good day. Has to balance each other out. The ebbs and the flows, they have to be there. The sine waves. Light and darkness. Our duality, reality. I think drive. I think drive is the word that works the best, at least. Just to have that drive. So every single step I take, I'm going to remind myself of the drive that I have to do the things I know I'm supposed to be doing. Even when I don't necessarily want to, even when it won't necessarily be fun to. Just drive. It's glitching every 5 seconds, but I'm still here chilling lol. I think, if anything, Edmund, not even Edmund, Dan, I feel this might be the final piece of straw that's gonna break the camel's back, because I've been contemplating doing dual streams with this phone as well. There's this app called Larix Broadcaster or something like that. And you can, within the app, basically put in all of your different stream keys. So for Twitch, for YouTube, for Facebook even, you can go as well. And then from this single stream key, it basically runs a single camera feed to all of those streaming platforms. I think we'll have to. Especially with stuff like this. If it's so bad, you can't actually enjoy the stream. It glitches every 5 seconds. You can't listen to a full sentence that I'm saying. Then it's unacceptable, right? Then it's getting to the point where it's unwatchable even. Maybe I'll start bringing a computer out here as well then. Have other chat windows open. Did I jinx it? No, Yater. You didn't jinx it at all, my friend. Thank you for being here with us again. It just seems that we have an ebb, instead of a flow day. And that's completely okay. The act of just doing it is called the Shia LaBeouf. Do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it! The Shia LaBeouf. The Shia LaBeouf. I am drinking with the intention of the Shia LaBeoufing. I feel like that's a term or phrase. I want to know if there's a term or phrase for it as well. That's the thing, Edmund. And I feel like it escapes me. It shouldn't be so complicated. I mean, the English language is kind of notorious for having a bunch of words that describe very niche things, very niche things. I want to know what that word is. Okay, back to patience. I'm sorry though, Yater. I think it is going to be patience today. Oh man. I'm more sorry for you friends than anything. Like I'm so sorry for you that I almost expect you to stop watching. No, I'm like I wouldn't want you to watch if it glitches every 5 seconds. Thank you so much for being here with me regardless of these difficulties we're having. Hopefully, and hopefully soon, we'll be able to actually use our technology in a way that will free us from this BS. I'm at least getting longer gaps between glitches. Knocks on wood. Actually, I'll knock on wood for you as well, Edmund. Serenity now. Thank you for reminding me, Charles. I appreciate you being here with us, my friend. How are you doing? How's the kids? How's your significant other? Hope things are well with you, my friend. The lesson is patience here. When we become patient, it starts to work better. I feel that's almost an anecdote for life in general as well. And I'm busy with something that is going to require a lot of patience. It's gonna take some time for things to happen as they're supposed to. Cryptic messages getting dropped as well. Yeah, it's gonna take a while, and I'm already feeling impatient, and I'm stressing to make sure that things are in a way that would facilitate the thing I'm being patient for to happen either better or at all. Man, I'm gonna keep talking cryptic like this until one person is like, "Hey, is this the thing you're talking about?" And then I'm just going to say nothing. Maybe I'll do like a little wink, but I won't say, I won't say anything about it. German does as well. German. Oh, for the word. Yeah, I'm sure. Germany also has a bunch of words because they like to speak in a way that is as efficient as possible. Try and communicate with a little bit of words, big words, big sayings, big meaning, if you will. Convey more information in a shorter amount of time. All right, it's getting a little bit more stable for me. I'm happy to hear that, Dan. That really makes me happy. I'm here for better or worse, brother. Thank you so much, Edmund, my brother. I appreciate you sharing this space with me. How do I fix my caps lock? How do you fix your caps lock? So that can mean one or two things. Either, and because you do have a capital letter in your sentence, I don't think it is that one. Like, all of your letters are capitalized, and you want to fix that. So fixing that would be the press of a button. Or your actual caps button is broken, in which case you'll have to replace the machinery underneath it, I guess. Or you can remap another button on your computer to function as your caps lock. Ta-da-dum, your question has been answered, seriously. If not, it's not your fault, Meltmore. It's okay. Knocking as well. Can't hurt. Can't hurt. You're very much right, Yater. I know it's not my fault, but it is our collective fault, technically, our plan including. because I'm streaming and you friends are joining me in this space, and Arpan is providing slash facilitating the creation of the space. So it's like this trifecta of coming together to experience what it is we're experiencing. So I am aware of my part in the experience, and also aware of my inability to affect the experience in a way where it would benefit you. Yeah. Mel, how do you feel about Friday the 13th upcoming? I feel that if you didn't tell me about that, Dan, it would have gone right over my head. Again, it's superstition, right? It's people attaching scary stories to something that is an anomaly, if you will, you know, it being the 13th and it being on a Friday. Is it something is it supposed to scare you? Is it I don't think so. Does it? Like, at least in my life, I've never grown up with any uh, old wives' tales. I don't know exactly what you call them, rumors, understandings of stuff like that. You know, the only number that was demonized for me growing up was the numbers 666. And even at this point in my life, I've now come to realize that that is also something that was stigmatized because it was misunderstood. In China, the number 4 is the same because 4 san se se means almost like death. Like I think se or something like that is the word for death. So se it sounds very similar. So it sounds like, oh, I'm on the floor. If you speak fast, I'm on floor death. Excuse me? I said I'm on floor 4. Oh, okay. And for that reason, you can actually get better rent prices by moving into the 4th floor on buildings. Doesn't make sense though. Being scared of numbers. Maybe it's just the collective consciousness, not necessarily being scared of the number, but being uncertain about what's going to happen during those days, and then the uncertainty of what could happen is what is the attachment to it. So it's not so much the actual day, but all of this collective information that has been attached to the day, right? Who is that serial killer? Jason, right? He's the Friday the 13th killer, I guess. Is this a green screen? No, my friend, this is real life. Creation is flawed, therefore God is flawed. We exist in the cracks of their imperfection. Are you trying to convince me of that? Man, you see, this is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I wanted. Try and convince me of things, even if they're completely ridiculous. You know, they say something like creation is flawed. Creation is forever new, my friend. Creation is ceaseless. I think maybe our human creation would be flawed in comparison to that of God. But I don't think God is flawed. I think God is the oneness, you know, a big molten ball of ever extending out from itself light and love. And then in the little fractals, turbulence that this off-gassing of love and light creates, that's basically us, if anything. I don't think it's flawed though. And I do believe we can move closer to that which always is, you know, that source. Kiki is trying to join me. Kiki! He's fail over there. Yeah, he's fail. Look at this. Look at how dirty she is. You don't want me to pick you up? I'm gonna show the people do have those basically gas myself with dust, but for the sake of creation, right? Stream is fixed now, eh? I hope so, Simon. I do hope so. But, and I want your input on this as well, dude. I've basically... I wanted to throw her ball for her. I've basically made now the decision that I'm going to start to stream from my footage phone, if you will, to the other streaming services as well, so that when this one is glitchy like that, you can switch over to one of the other ones. It is indeed a green screen. He's fail. Kom ik weet voor die mensen hoe fail je is. Let me show the people how dirty you are, is basically what that means. The best green screen. This is literally the best green screen. Look at how I can like simulate almost what looks like a sunlight source, and how the individual like light bounces through my skin. Yes. Yes. Ultra high definition green screenery here. My caps lock is reversed. But it's not though. Maybe it is. I mean, then press it again. Just press the button. Just press the caps lock button. I think it should fix it. Yep, green screen. Welcome to your regularly scheduled hippie propaganda stream. Yes, propaganda. Isn't propaganda lying to get someone to believe something that is not necessarily true? I don't think there's any propaganda that happens here though, right? Because I don't claim anything is true. I don't know. How can I? But I can try and figure it out for myself. And having you friends help me do that exponentially increases the amount of bandwidth that we have to work with technically. As a collective thinking about something, we can solve problems significantly faster than as an individual trying to solve a problem. So what does propaganda mean actually? I'm curious now. One of you friends, please let me know. Beaming my energy now, Toast. Ace. Please send energy very low. It's falling apart. Okay, so for all of them, I saw a mushroom for some reason, Toasty. I saw a big ass mushroom, almost filling the entire field of vision. And it, like basically all of the things I see have these pulsating waves from them. You want to give me this ball so I can throw it for you? Oh, little Doge. Toasty, sending everything positive I can. Gather up your way, my friend. Toasty, you're receiving freaking copious amounts of love, dude. Whew, open up and receive, dude. I actually want you to try and do this, Toasty, legitimately. Just raise your hands up, dude. Ball your fists, flex your muscles. It's literally the posture of someone who is winning. Blind people. People who have never been able to see in their entire lives. When they're competing in the Paralympics and they find out that they've won, they celebrate in the exact same way as people that can't see. Nowhere ever in their entire lives were they able to perceive the action of putting your hands up in the air when you've won something. And yet they do that. It's literally programmed into our neurology. Lift your hands up, receive positive energy. You are a winner, friend. I hope you know that. I don't know how much Friday the 13th matters, lol. Just wondering what you thought about it. It definitely made me think a bunch of things. Most of all, it made me think about why people attach these stigmas. I do kind of understand the stigma behind the Chinese one because it sounds like death. But Friday the 13th, I think it's because of the anomaly, right? It doesn't happen every month. It's something that happens like twice a year at max or something. She's gonna chew on her bowl and make noise. I'm sorry, friends. Gob Nugget, thank you for joining us. God morning to you, my friend. How have you been? Vincent is here as well. Ow. What do you want to be convinced of? That's up to you, my friend, to convince me of what you want to convince me of. I don't want to be convinced of anything other than the truth. So, like, convince me of your truth, friend. Kiki! Kiki! Yeah. She's looking at me like, what? I just figured out that I can bite this thing and it makes noise. And now you don't want me to do that? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting. Most of us are just really tall midgets. That's an interesting thing to say. I guess most of us could be seen as really tall midgets. I mean, if there's a species out there in the world that's like an average of 3 meters tall, 3.5 meters tall, then all of us would be considered midgets in comparison to them. So I guess it's a matter of perspective. Hey, Mammy, thank you for joining us, my friend. How are you and the kids and your significant other doing? It's good. The events of Star Wars actually happen somewhere in our galaxy at some point in time, or will eventually. That's the trippy part about it, Edmund. Yeah, again, with the nature of infinity, Star Wars actually happened, or is happening, or has happened, or will happen, or in a four-dimensional mindset is happening right now. Everything could be happening right now. I'm convinced we can only listen to Milkmore's propaganda for so long because he says it with an accent. Yes, that is actually what happened. I spent a bunch of years, before I got born, years and years contemplating, working on the biggest of brain maneuvers, to get born into the right body, to have the to have the right eyesight, to have the right mindset, to have the right understandings, and to grow up speaking Afrikaans, so that I can speak English in a broken way, so that when eventually I start streaming, people will listen. Goodness, you give me way too much credit. But who knows, Simon? Maybe that's exactly what happened. It's scarier if I think about it like that, actually. For reals, insane. What's the temperature like for you, Mel? It's kind of coldish. You want me to throw your ball again? It's not like cold cold. It's like 13, maybe 14 degrees Celsius right now. Our universe, not our galaxy. My bad. Yeah, somewhere in the universe. I think the funniest part about some of the Star Wars and Star Trek movies is just how much technology they thought would exist now does exist, and even better than they thought it would exist, for example. Sometimes technology does mimic art in that way as well. And as we're basically bettering and bettering our technology, the possibilities of what we can write about in science fiction also become better and better. And then that in turn would maybe stimulate young minds, watching the content, the stimulation in art and in science, seeing these, technologies that aren't necessarily possible right now, technology we have, could stimulate scientists, now children, to eventually realize those ideas. Sorry for being super distracted. I know I'm being distracted. Our universe on our galaxy, my bad. I get you. Sorry, Edmund. I went there for the first time today for orientation, and let me tell you, I'm coming off the worst headache as I'm writing. I'm sorry to hear that, Vincent. Maybe it's the new environment. There's still a lot that has to be adjusted for, changed into, my friend. You got this. You got this. I hope you adjust well. Okay, I'm here. What am I convincing you of? I'm probably going to say this 50,000 times. I probably should have said in the title as well. Convince me of whatever you want to convince me of, friend. I want to be convinced of the truth, and the truth is multifaceted. It has a bunch of, little, how can I explain it? Inoculation points. Yeah, maybe inoculation point is a way of thinking about it. Dude, Kiki, dude. Ugh. She's looking for it. Wat een geval. Isai! Soccer! Oh, wat gaat het? She's not the most intelligent dog, but she is smart. She is kind of smart. She's like smart enough for it to be cute, but still not smart enough to. overthrow our government, if you will. Man, I'm not paying attention at all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop throwing her ball. I hope the headache disappears soon, my friend. I'm happy to hear you went for orientation. This is the way, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you for encouraging and sharing your love as well, Yader. You gonna relax? There you go. You can hear her out of breath. Propaganda usually isn't lying. It's usually just one point of view. Okay. You know, like, I don't think we're doing that either, though. It's insane. You know, if we were sharing only one point of view, we wouldn't ever talk about the bad stuff or the sad stuff or the stuff that's not easy to talk about. So, like, I'm all for, you know, accepting something for what it is. But in that way, I don't think I can accept the propaganda title. Gewand, he want us to convince him to do something meaningful in life. Nepo Damoap. That's an interesting name, friend. Fortunately, I know I'm doing something meaningful in life, you know, and the way I know that is because it's meaningful to me. It's infinitely meaningful to me. And whether that is a gauge of meaning, you know, I'm already convinced. You don't have to convince me of that one, though. Thank you. Shari, I don't know, or DK. Okay, so imagine you're looking at your life right now. What is cool, interesting about it? I would like to share a bunch of things. Some of them I can't share right now. This is actually something that's really cool about my life to me, friend. You know, thinking about how many people in the world does something like this, has the ability to share a space with like-minded friends like this. Like, it's not something that is very common. And it's still something that I'm actively trying to wrap my head around, to like understand as well. She's just like chewing on that ball now. I'm just happy it's not making it squeaking sounds. I think she might have broken it. Melt more, need convincing. You should stream on YouTube because you have already built a core community and most people have YouTube. So getting them to join you there would not be too difficult. It's not about switching over to those insane. You see, like, I do want to continue streaming on Arpan. For me, it's more about having you friends or providing you friends with something that is a little bit more consistent, you know, as an extra, if you will. Because I do love Arpan. You know, Arpan is so sick. Huh? You gonna give the ball to me? Yeah, she actually broke the little squeaker. You broke your squeaker. It makes no more squeaks. I hope so too, Yader. I still have to go there tomorrow. I hope I can recover from my sleep deprivation and headaches without caffeine. My friend, I think if anything, your headache is coming from your sleep deprivation. So maybe if you take care of the one, the other one will follow. Oh, Yader's brought me a proper definition. Propaganda. Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, even used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of interest. So my point of interest would be the betterment of all mankind. Kiki, can you give me some space? The betterment of all mankind, and I don't think I do have a bias, yes, because with the bias of wanting the betterment for all mankind, destruction, hate, you know, judgment doesn't really fit into that narrative. But I don't think it's misleading in nature at all. I think we're very upfront about what it is we're talking about here and why we choose to talk about the things that we do. So I think we can conclusively say, it is in fact not propaganda. Hear, hear! I don't have to read the archipelago. I agree with Simon. I raise my hands and pump my fists. There we go. Thank you so much for doing that with me. God. Stream title is Try and Convince Me. I'm just trying to figure out what the convincing is. Like, I'm happy that it's actually creating so much stir, if you will, this question I asked today. because I do think it's a good one. You know, just in saying just that sentence, try and convince me. Whatever it is you feel comes up with inside of yourself, which you want to convince me of, that is what I want you to try and convince me of. Because that's going to say a lot about you, and it can teach me a lot about myself. You know, try and convince me. I'm literally fighting the urge to get some caffeine. I know that feel, Vincent, can be something that helps my friend. Like, have you done anything cool? If so, then do something that's chill. Go lay down in the rain. If you haven't, go do something that you find dope, whether it is to be seeing something or doing something. That sounds amazing, and thank you for suggesting that as well. Sherry DK. I've been doing a lot of that actually. You know, I've recently, the ninth of August, did something that I've been contemplating since I was like 16. I finally actually got to do the thing I was thinking about. And that's one of the things I'm not sharing everything about right now, because I want to get it done before I share anything, if you will, you know. But yeah, yeah, it's really exciting, friend. It makes me so happy. Thank you for suggesting that. I would recommend for you friends to try the same, doing something that excites you. Fight if you can. Hello, Aunt B. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Thanks for the love, my friend. Thank you for sharing your love as well, for putting yourself in the space in which you can receive love, Vincent. Kiki, Kiki, Kiki. You do realize we have so much farm, so much space, you know, like a lot of space. Do you have to be like right up next to me? Yes? Fine. I'll tolerate it. She wants me to keep throwing her ball for her. That's the thing she wants. So she's like pushing it up against my leg and like scratching at it. Choo! Zoom, zoom, zoom. Midget is an offensive word. Aren't supposed to say dwarf now. Like for me, when I think of midget, again, I think of it as this giant being looking down on me and then being like, oh, you're the size of a midget, you know, in comparison. To me, it's more a definition of comparison than it is something that's derogatory. But I can understand that if it's something, and I don't even want to say something you suffer with, because people that have dwarfism don't think of it as something that they're suffering from. So maybe in that way it can be something that belittles them, if you will. So yeah, you're right, friend. You are right. It's insane. I think you're supposed to say little person. And as you see, there's a bunch of them. You're also wrong, Simon. You're not allowed to say dwarf either, dude. I had to step away. Family is doing well, thank you. Kiddos, last day of summer. Ooh. I feel, is that something the parents are happy about? School starts for mine tomorrow as well. I think it's something that the parents can be partly happy about, you know. Little bit of a chance to breathe, if you will. Oh, man. My mom dealt with us by just kind of telling us that we're not allowed to disturb her during certain hours. You know, if she needed some time to sleep, then we let her sleep. It was also during that time that we were the most misbehaving. Okay, fine. Let us cheers to our health and hard times, mammy. Cheers to health and hard times indeed. Thank you, Vincent, for joining us in this space and sharing your feelings and your love with us as well, man. Does meditation actuate the people around you? Effectuate. I don't know if effectuate is a word. It might be. It does sometimes. Like I don't like, it could be correlation, you know. Causation isn't necessary. No. It could be causation, not necessarily causation. But I've had like very intense meditative experiences where I'll come back and I'll walk into the house and people will be a little bit frantic. And, and I'll just like be picking up on the energy. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I won't say anything about it, but I don't know if it effectuates the people around me. It might. It might. What do you think, Dr. Nigel? Thank you for the love that you're sprinkling, Simon. I appreciate it. She's like looking around. Where did it go? And then she hears it fall behind me. School starting, a sign of autumn coming. I love this time of year. I love this year so much, Mammy. It has been absolutely blessed. Hello to you as well, Briggs. It's been a while, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Where my skull with gooi? Where my skull with gooi? I'm gonna throw it over my shoulder. Sending Kiki to college. No. Go to fake Kiki, be like, not cool, man. Yeah, little Kiki. Like, I'm not focusing nearly as much and I'm behind on comments already. There's only one thing you need to be convinced of, Melt, and that's the simple fact that Swagger is about to take the yogurt industry by storm. Oh, freaking. I was taking you so seriously for a second. I was like, damn, Dan is gonna drop some wisdom bombs on me. You know, starting a sentence off like that, and then you instantly diverge into the Swagger. Do I have a stake in Swagger at this point? I think I've said it enough times to have like at least a 20% stake, huh? 22% stake. I want the double twos specifically. Swaggered. Fall is the best. Fortunately, fall doesn't last long enough. Like spring, it seems all we have anymore is summer and winter. The lines are getting a little bit blurred, Charles. You're very right. Man, she's a riot. Like I've actually, what do I want to say? It's comedic to me. The other day, my dad isn't here that much, and it's his dog, and we're basically talking about playing fetch with Kiki, and he's like, Kiki doesn't play fetch. We didn't teach her to play fetch. I'm like, Kiki very much does play fetch. Very much does play fetch. Yeah, I remember the seasons being a lot different when I was younger. Unfortunately, global warming is very much a real thing. Seasons, mighties, yeah. How do you feel about veganism, Mel? That's a good question, Bonar. I feel about veganism as a thing that I long for, if anything. It's like in my understanding, feeling slash personal experience, I want to go vegan, and I want to eat in a like a vegan diet, but in the same breath, I'm already having a hard time eating enough food as is, and protein and fat is significantly more calorie dense than the amount of vegetables I'll have to eat to get the same amount of sustenance. So on that front, that's the only thing keeping me from going vegan right now. I so is lab grown meat still vegan? Because technically it doesn't kill anything. There's no harm. Technically, vegan means no animal products, and you'll be taking stem cells from an animal, so it would still essentially be an animal product. I'm thinking. I think that's probably the logic's going to follow. Just accept the death of our planet already. No, damn it! I'm not going to accept the death of our planet. It's insane. I feel our previous generation kind of did. And now it's time for us to try and change that shit, to try and change that shit. One of the biggest factors of climate change is animal agriculture. The planet doesn't have to end if people would just give up meat and cheese. Yeah, you see, like that's what I'm thinking as well, friend. Lab grown meat can cut down on up to 96% of the water usage, up to 99% of the land usage, up to 86% of the carbon emissions. And like scientists and like future predictors, if you will, are already suggesting that the majority of the meat sold is going to be lab grown meat by the year 2040. So it's happening, friend. It's happening. Our technology is improving. Hopefully, with our, spending, if you will, we can tell these companies that it is something we want. Where you spend your money is basically how you vote in today's society. Everything being capitalism and all. Meat I can give up, cheese not so much. Interestingly enough, cheese actually stimulates dopamine responses in your brain as well. So it's a like a drug, if you will. And I'm also a big fan of cheese, Mammy and Charles. You don't have to worry about it. Thank you for the silver, my friend. Lamau, vegan propaganda. I love it. No vegan propaganda, my friend. No vegan propaganda. Like, we're not biased towards veganism, and I'm not a vegan myself. I do see the benefits of a society going in the vegan direction, though. And that is something that is indisputable. You can't really argue with that. Definitely one of my favorite foods. It's so good, Edmund. Cheese is just a toast in the name of autumn. Let's write a new chapter in our book of youth. It sounds poetic, but in reality it's just a bunch of kids crammed together with sour looks on their face, forming clouds of humidity above them. Ah, man. Don't remind me of being in a classroom, please, Vincent. Cheese is like bacon, it enhances all foods for sure. Yeah, yeah. You can pretty much grate cheese and melt it over anything, and it would still kind of be a vibe. I think you could even make it work with ice cream. How would you have melted cheese over ice cream? You'll have to eat it fast, if anything. But there are healthier alternatives to cheese that don't harm the animals and the planet. My friend, I think we need to not only make healthier alternatives, but we need to make alternatives that are both affordable and taste as good, for us to be switching over to things. And I think this is not even something that's unreasonable to expect from just our society. We can't expect everyone as a society to be selfless and make decisions out of, the goodness of their heart for the planet. We need to create a way in which we can save the planet in a way that is palatable. Create a way that we can save the planet in which people want to participate in it, instead of feeling like it's a chore. That is what we have to figure out, and it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take a lot of money, and it's gonna take a lot of brain power, but it's very possible. We've done a bunch of things before. We can do this as well. Oh, we cheesy talking? Doesn't get any cheddar than this. Jovan coming in with the freaking pun. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Is taste more important than well-being of the animals and the planet? Yeah, as I said, friend, it's not about taste even. It's just about what people have assimilated into their existence. If they enjoy cheese, and when they eat cheese, they get this experience from eating the cheese, and then they buy something that costs more, doesn't taste as good, in order to save the planet, then it feels for them like they're the one losing in that transaction when normal cheese is still available. If we can get our products at the point where they're indistinguishable or even better, that is how we're going to get people to help us save the world. And unfortunately, that is what the base human consciousness is going to require of us people that want to save the world. Play the game, if you will, even though it sucks. Meltmore has to melt into the cracks of the jokes and everything, Edmund. Yeah, I tried to at least, Edmund. I've tried vegan cheese, wasn't a big fan. You see, that's what I'm talking about, Charles. Oh, Kira popping in and out to say I love you all so much. Thank you, my friend. Sending Kira love as well. I'm not sure, you're probably not here anymore, my friend, but I've been thinking about you. Sending you love. Mr. Smities, yeah, some of them are not that good, but some are fantastic, and they're only getting better. Yes, they are only getting better. In all honesty, I think the planet has bigger problems than cheese manufacturing. Yeah, um, the mining industry, for the amount of electronics and cars we keep buying, does significantly more damage than, I mean, like mining industry and then the car industries and the electronic industries on top of all of those things does significantly more damage than the cheese industry is doing to the world. And it's in not only efficiently taxing those businesses that we can make a difference, but we can use that tax money and like carbon capture technology and setting up renewable energy sources. It's going to it's going to take a lot of change. Damn it, I wish I could do more. Someone just chose love, I'm sure. What if we get the milk from our spoiled fur friends? Yeah, I mean, exactly. Some cattle want to be milked, and as you know as well, Aunt B, like sometimes the udders can become swollen. What did you. There's a word for it, I remember you saying. Full? Yes, full? I mean, you didn't say fool. I remember the word you said, but I don't remember how to say it, if you will. But basically, it like builds up pressure and it becomes uncomfortable if you don't release that pressure. So in a way, it can be something that cows actually enjoy. Getting milked. Same for the goats. So you can make cheese from something like that as well. What is the purpose of all of the animals on the planet, Bonar? The circle of life continues. Yes, it does. Everything eats everything. And eventually this earth will eat me. And that's okay. And eventually the sun will eat this planet. And that's okay. And eventually the inevitable heat death of the universe will slowly eat itself? Yes. I don't know. Things eat themselves, my friend, and there is this ever renewing happening to it as well. The earth doesn't really care. It does care in a way. Mama Gaia does love us, but it doesn't have an attachment to us. It knows that if we destroy our environment to the point where we can no longer survive in it, it is going to brush it off in a few million years and then it's going to start over again. What we have to come to realize is whether or not we want to grow with the planet or if we want to be removed from it and then replaced by something else. That is the real thing. Some decisions are going to have to be made with that knowing as well. To make the yummy, oh yeah, the yummy cheese, absolutely. You're very, very right, Aunt P. We can still have cheese and meat and such without the horrible current agricultural practices. Very right, Edmund, you're right. Vincent too, Kira, great vibes you have. I wish I had at least 1% of that. Thank you for sharing your light and storm. My friend, you do. Everything that I have, you have access to as well. I'm not any more special than you are, friend. We're all equally special on this planet, in this existence. Hopefully, and that's exactly why I do this, that I do, you can take some of this love. And to give you, friends, an example of what the giving of love can be, when you're experiencing extreme feelings of excitement, of joy, where you're like literally feeling like you're bubbling inside, you can't stand still, moving around, big smile on your face, and that feeling, what is one of the first things you end up doing when you feel that excited, when you feel that full of love and light? Yeah, you go and share it with someone. You call someone, you tell someone, you talk to someone, even if it's your dog. If you have no one around you to talk to, there is this genuine excitement literally coming off of your being, this joy, this love coming off of your being as your cup overflows. And instead of trying to bank it, instead of trying to keep this overflowing, melting pot of love to yourself, you choose to share. You choose to try and fill other people up. And I believe in this way that if all people had their cups at least filled to the max level, we would all be inherently good. The reason people aren't inherently good right now is because their cups aren't overflowing. They don't have enough for themselves even. So why would they want to give love and light to someone else? Realizing that in giving love and light to someone else, we're basically If you have an abundance of, if you will, don't try and keep that for yourself. Try and share it as much as you can. That's what we do, your friend. All you have to do is show up 100 days. If you can get like a percentage of melty love, then you'll be topped up by the end of it, friend. I love you. I hope you know that. I agree, Edmund. Don't have to mean torture. Very right on being. Their purpose is to live their life, not as our commodities and horrible factory farms that are destroying the Amazon rainforest in the world. We agree with you, Bernard. Like, we do agree with you, friend, that factory farming is something that's absolutely unacceptable. We're just trying to be realistic about how we're going to make these changes. We're not fighting you. We're trying to be both sides of the spectrum so we can have, a good discourse about it. Animals, at the end of the day, eat one another as well. They don't necessarily. Actually, I mean, like, I'm thinking about a bunch of things right now. I'm thinking about the fact that ants take care of amphids, you know, literally have farms of amphids, which they protect and then eat the poop juice from. Literally, like sappy poop juice. So animals do commoditize each other as well, even down to the insect level. I don't think it is right to do so, but I do think it's a part of nature. And we're at this point in our nature where we can overcome our base human nature and we can become something even more than that. Love you too, Jovan, my friend. Thank you. Yo, I'm so passionate about good agriculture practices. I feel you, Bernard. Thank you for letting our friend know she is or he is heard as well, Jovan. Convincing you, as requested, meditation isn't stopping me and everyone else. Whoa, 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 whoa. Meditation isn't stopping me and everyone else introducing millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere each year, but I'm sure we'll all be fine. No worries, sending positive vibes. Dr. Nigel, I appreciate you, stating that, if you will. I don't necessarily think it's something you have to convince me of. Meditating, as you said, won't, change much in the practices of what did you say? CO2 being released into the air. You're very right, because I'm going to have to continue breathing even if I'm meditating. But I never claimed that it could. you know, Meditation is something that you do for yourself. How much time do you actually spend with yourself? And I'm not talking about you being alone. I'm talking about like alone and then on your mobile device, on your computer, whatever, listening to music, keeping your hands busy with something. How much time do you actually just spend with you? And meditation is just that. It's a time in which you can spend time with you. And it's very important, friend. Even if it's not going to save the world, it can save you. And you are just as much as part of this world as the world is a part of this world, friend. So know that you are very important, and taking care of yourself takes care of the rest as well. Definitely not supposed to say little person. You see, I mean, it's just hectic, dude. I'm pretty sure little person is actually the correct way to say it as well as insane. Go look it up, my friend. I don't know. I don't know. 60% of the US farmland only feeds livestock, two-thirds a metric butt. And that is crazy. I didn't know the number was that big as well. I see Mammy is also surprised. Kiki seems way too energetic today, Mel. I don't even know why. Like, she's been playing literally all day with Eva. I don't know why. Like, guess the tank is still full. Fortunately, my family is here now, so her energy has been converted, if you will, into someone else's problem. Factory farms aren't destroying the rainforest. You're mixing a bunch of different problems together. There are bad practices in agriculture and there are good ones. Either way, it's manufacturing and oil rigs and power plants destroying the ozone. Yep, you're very right. Very right, Simon. And like the destroying of rainforests are primarily happening for mining and palm, tree expansion. So agriculture again. But there's no biodiversity. in just palm trees, unfortunately. The vast majority of farmland is used to grow plants, to feed cows, so we can get a fraction of the nutrients from their flesh, when instead we could just feed the people the plants. Factory farms are definitely destroying the rainforest. They're cutting down the rainforest to grow soya beans to feed the cattle. We hear you, Benar. Like, it's not us doing it. Like, I think it is something that needs to be remembered as well. Like, us as individuals are not the ones that are contributing the most to the problems we're facing right now. And I believe if we can get to the point where us as individuals can talk to the ones we have in our lives, and this continues on in a way that we can uplift the entire human consciousness, maybe we can uplift the consciousness of those that are destroying our planet as well in the ways that they are. Thank you for sharing your passion, Benar. Thank you for recognizing it as well, Aunt B. I wish I was you, man. Are you suggesting that swagger is not a serious topic, Meld? No, of course not. I wouldn't dare to do that, Toasty. Swagger very much is a serious thing. I'm just I'm just concerned about marketing, dude. We're going to spend probably like 90% of our company budget just on marketing. And that's the real thing I'm concerned about. I want 20% of the profits, by the way, not 20% of the business, because, or 22%. Because if I have 22% of the business, I'm also going to have to be pitching into that 90% marketing cost. I just wanna scoop the thick. I'm very serious though. Composed, swaggered. It's gonna be a real thing. SDZ is rope jumping. I'll go say hi to her in the stream. Be right back. Thank you, Mammy. Say hi to her from me as well. Swaggered, absolutely. You're spreading misinformation, but no. The rainforest is dying cause it's not being taken care of, not for farms. I know what YouTube videos you're citing, it was debunked. Meld, you can get protein and fat from plants. How do you think the animals get their protein? My friend, like, if you know what a hard time I have eating food, today's meal was some meat and 4 eggs. That is literally all I'm eating for my entire day because I'm out of my eating window now again, so I'm not taking in any more calories. For me to eat enough plant matter to get the amount of protein, and I'm not even getting the amount of protein in that I have to right now. I'm like 6 foot, 200 pounds, person, if you will. So I have to feed myself appropriately. Plants and the copious amounts I have to eat of them doesn't do the job as efficiently, Bernard. And that is just the fact of the reality. Love you too, Harley. Thank you for sharing your love with us, my friend, and your presence. Wildfires out of control directly because of climate change, not because of farming. That's a part of it, but probably like less than 5%. You're right in saying. And we've recently found new data that suggests replanting of rainforests, and creating those microecologies can do more to cool the planet down than initially thought. Humans are omnivorous animals by nature, are we not? I'm all for fixing our practices and even cutting back on consumption, but I don't know that everyone needs to be vegan. You're very right as well, Edmund, and I believe strongly, and this has been suggested by like evidence as well, that the reason we grew into the beings we are right now as human beings is because of our consumption of meat. Like, we literally became as intelligent as we are as a species because we consumed meat and fats. And we also know now that our bodies are capable of using a fuel source called ketones, which is derived from the consumption of fat, lots of fat. And back in the day, your body would not be able to, or at least in your environment, you would not be able to only get those fats from the plants that you choose to eat. And that being said, it says to me that not only is it unlikely that we were and were supposed to be a purely vegan civilization slash species, but I believe that there is actually some benefits in going ketogenic. And on top of that, this has been proven as well now. Ketogenic diets basically promote the health of T cells, which is basically one of your body's first defenses in your immune system. It does a lot, like a lot, and it literally strengthens your T cells. And that is from consuming fat and protein. You can do that with animal products, you can do that with plant products, but it would be a lot easier, and our bodies have evolved in the way they have because we were doing it with animal products first. Don't hate me, but disclaimer, I live on a farm and I love my animals. Yes, you do, Aunt B. And the animals that you have on the farm are also not meant for eating because they're meant for, loving, if you will. So, like, it's a difference and a distinction that needs to be made as well sometimes. I think you're doing all right, Aunt B. I think so as well. Crab or lizard people? I think lizard people are more likely because crabs have exoskeletons, and I think that would be harder, like more difficult to hide. I have no issues with individual decisions to be vegan whatsoever, but I don't think everyone needs to be, especially if it's something that's forced. And I feel like in a lot of cases, some vegans can be so adamant about you following their diet, and that is the only way of doing it as well. Like, who are we to say? I don't know anything. I can't even keep to a diet myself sometimes. How can I even dare for a second to tell someone else what diet they're supposed to be on? Like, it's arbitrary. Sure, I'm pretty sure I'm not omnivorous by nature. We still have canine teeth. Yeah, we very much do have canine teeth. To chomp the flesh. Chomp, 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 as Dune Hair Rabbit says. Yes, very much, my friend. It's funny, I don't eat meat, but I don't consider myself a vegan. Vegan seems to be a political ideology nowadays, which is silly. You need to become more educated about the protein availability in plants. Yeah, exactly, friend. That's also a big thing. I don't know, a real thing to take into consideration as well. We meant to eat meat with our canines, but also plants with our molars, making us omnivores. Yep, that's very right. The canines are nothing like the canines of carnivores. Humans are herbivores by nature and omnivores by necessity, hundreds of thousands of years ago, technically. But now it's not necessary and it's bad for our health and the planet and the animals. So I think it's bad in conjunction with the amount of sugar we're consuming, and technically that is a plant-based alternative. If you just eat sugar as your carbohydrates and you take like some sort of plant, like soy protein powder shakes, you'll die. You're not gonna live long. You're gonna become extremely unhealthy, even though you're eating a plant-based diet. Not all foods are created equal. Protein availability is higher in meats. It's been proven. Fat can be healthier as well. On top of that, a lot of seed oils, seed fats are not that good for you. And the canines I have, for example, I know not everybody have these canines, but they're very much flesh-tearing canines. They're made to do that. Oh wait, omnivore means we eat both? Yes, it does, Simon. I was wondering why you were like arguing about that one, but yeah, omnivore means both. I argue as a profession, and we need to get off this topic. Uh, no, my friend, I'm just giving you the time, Dr. Niggle. I'm listening to you, I'm sharing with you, I'm not ignoring the things you choose to say. My boyfriend thinks he can go vegetarian when he ate more chicken than half the world has combined. I mean, let him try. Let him try. Yes, Mel. You just have to make veganism the cheap and easy alternative. That's the way, Bernard, that's the way. Dry Astoria, it's nice to have you here. What are you saying is reasonable for sure. Thank you, friend. I'm happy you resonate. Meat made our brains grow bigger. There we go. Lick into you. Yeah. Yep. That's also true. That's the thing. And that's what I was saying a little bit back. About the reason, like Kiki is just crazy. Just losing her mind playing with Eva right now. She just ran and bumped my glass over as well a little bit. Yup, if humanity can gravitate away from the consumer trap We're capable of being happy without being a pawn of capitalism. Please excuse my spice. No, spice away, please, Jovan. You're very right. You're 100% right. So right. And unfortunately, us as human beings and our attention spans have become the new commodity, unfortunately, in today's society. And that's the thing we have to basically free ourselves from. No apologies necessary, Jovan. There we go. Yeah, we're all in for the spice. You're very right. Thank you for letting her know as well, Edmund. Switching to veganism wouldn't change a thing. Making vegan food would open just as many factories and we have today, but probably more. Farming is actually really good for the planet. Animals take care of the earth. Those cows are bred. The rest of your comment is not there. Those cows are bred and eat help. Yes, they eat all of the help. I get what you're saying though, Simon. Like your message got cut off, but I get what you're saying. I used to be vegetarian up until I was 16. India still has the highest number of vegetarian people, like 38%. It's all grain and veggies here. Yeah, that's crazy, my friend. Why did you stop? I'm curious, Vincent. It's painful, trust me. I feel you, Auntie. Factory farming is the evil to fight against, not the consumption of meat. I do agree with that as well, Dune Hair. And I think the actual meat, as a result of factory farming, is inferior towards or to meat that was like locally grown, if you will, roaming cattle. Free range, that's the right word, right? Slav! Welcome, my friend. Thank you for joining us. It's probably late where you are right now. Greetings from the future. Thursday here, just again. Hi, stay legendary, my blood. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us in this space, love. Love you. E-waste doesn't actually get recycled most of the time. They get shipped to third world countries to get broken down in an unsafe way. Yep, unfortunately, you're right as well, Dry Historian. Dune gets it. Thank you for the heartwarming on B. I think my own light is shining, but it gets dimmed by the lack of parallelism of thought amongst my friends and acquaintances. Very much so for me as well. Waiting opposite. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Fortunately, in this space, we have some, if you will, in your word, and I like it, parallelism with one another. We can share ideas and we can resonate together about them. That's the same reason I'm on Reddit. Yeah, there we go. We have Dry saying the same thing. It's been a good thing. Birds of a feather. Yes, very much so. Same. Here to uplift each other. Positivity recharge. I'm so happy to see it happen. I don't see the message Wedding said. I think I read it now as well. I think my own light, the parallelism one. I lived in a small town, Texas. I feel that, Wedding. We have to be okay with solidarity sometimes and trust that others are considering a new perspective. You're very right. I'm happy that we get to have this though, on B. Like I don't stream all day every day, even though I think I could bring even more love in that way. But I do think if I did that, I would deplete myself to the point where I wouldn't be able to continue doing that. So we have some solidarity. We go into our own lives, we do the things that needs to be done, and then we have, at least for a while, this space in which we can share with one another. In giving light and love, we must embrace the technology that has allowed us to live harmoniously. Agriculture, society, communication, these things must be developed at the cost of the environment. You're right, Dr. Nagel. You're right, my friend. But fortunately, our agriculture, our society, and our communication has been developed efficiently and sufficiently to the point where we can now discontinue our pace of destruction. Fortunately, by the year 2050, our population will probably top out at at most maybe 8.9 billion people, and then it's going to decline again. People, and especially our generation, our Gen X, or is it Gen Z? I think it's Gen Z. Our Gen Z generation kids are at the kids having age now, past 1969, but we're not. because we can't. Looking at the world as it is right now, we've stopped, my friend, and this is going to be something we're going to pay the consequences of in like 40, 50 years. We're going to have incentives to procreate again so we can keep our population at some point. Unfortunately, we're 4 billion Africans projected by 22, but literally zero UN plan for that. I doubt it actually, frequent smile. I doubt it strongly, friend. As quality of life improves and child mortality drops, yeah, that's the right one to say, right? Mortality means chance of dying drops. People have less and less kids. I think my own light is shining. It gets dimmed. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you for letting me know as well. What is this about? This is about sharing love, friend. Falls, anything and everything. Oh, hey, thank you so much for answering as well on B. I'm always conflicted by that. Having others believe what you believe makes you feel more secure in what you're doing, but also you don't want or need that. You shouldn't want or need that. Yeah, you're right. You're very much right, Simon. I think it's a balance. You know, like you don't want to live in a way in which people completely disagree with the things you're doing to some extent. Like if you're trying to do something for yourself and it's going to take a lot of work, and the success of that might be something that would elevate you above other people or away from other people necessarily, not necessarily above other people, and they're trying to discourage you from doing that to keep you close to them, if you will, or in their same circumstances. And that way, then you should actually do the opposite and seek out, that resistance. But if it's just in general, I think you shouldn't necessarily want to need that acceptance from your peers and your loved ones, but getting that acceptance can be a point in the right direction as well. Thank you for letting us know. Again, wedding. Using technology have to meet our minds. If you can give me an imposter cheese that tastes like actual cheese, I'm in. Say, this is about someone using a communication network Reddit to spread a philosophy which conveniently ignores the destruction involved in creating said network because views. Like, I'm not doing that at all, Dr. Nigel. So, like, what do you expect me to do, friend? Like, I'm not ignoring these things at all. But I'm a broke 23-year-old kid that lives in South Africa, where literally 33, a third of my entire country's population is unemployed, where our currency value has dropped 1,600% since my parents were my age. I don't have any capital to change these things. So I'm conveniently not ignoring it, friend. I'm painfully aware of it. I'm just trying to bring a message of love and peace, despite knowing these things, despite feeling these things. What are you doing, Dr. Nigel? Like, if you're so aware, if you will, not ignoring destruction involved in creating, why are you using Reddit? Why are you holding a cell phone right now? Why are you wearing clothing that you bought? Why don't you make it yourself? Why are you living in a brick and mortar house, If you're living in a brick and mortar house. Or if you're living in a wood house, they cut down trees. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Chillax, friend. Only love is real. Only love is real. He's young, give him a break. Yeah, dude, please give me a break. And I agree with wedding. Tech helps me feel closer to like-minded ones. Exactly, Mammy. That's literally what it's about. Because before in life, the only way for us to have this closeness with like-minded people is to move our physical beings through space and time. Spend copious amounts of time traveling, and then also move thousands of kilometers to travel so that we can meet one another. Like, the total amount of traveled kilometers or miles that we would have to move to be able to share this space with us would do so much more damage to the environment than the electrons flowing through our devices right now. So not only have we transcended time and space to be able to have this with one another, but we're also being more efficient with our energy to be able to share these spaces with one another. Checkmate, Dr. Niggle. What are you going to say about that one? Religions use that thought process to convince people their thought process is correct because everyone agrees. But I believe that true goal finding your own way, but I believe the true goal is finding your own way and being comfortable with that alone and internal. I think so very much as well, Simon, very, very much so. And I think you've noticed that with my kind of philosophy as well. I believe the hardest and most important work you could possibly do is work on yourself. Because you can, and this is something that I think Sadhguru said that really kind of resonated with me. If you don't brush your teeth for 3 days, your nose that is literally this far away from your mouth won't let you know that your breath stinks. Everyone else will know that your breath stinks, but you won't know. And in that way, it's much easier to see fault within the external from yourself. But to be able to look within yourself and find fault and then to try and correct that fault, that is where true growth kind of spurs, if you will. And then in that growth, you can move closer and closer to this source, which we all share. And that is what spirituality is for me. And religion is someone trying to tell you, give you that entire learning process in something that is condensed. This is about diet. Not exactly, my friend. Curious what type of destruction. But if anyone wants to join the GPF lifestyle, hit me up. You either give in or you push and flow. That is Simon's slogan, if you will, what the GPF stands for. I cannot be hard manual labor on fruits and vegetable, 3 eggs. There is an article. Hiki! She's being crazy. Look at those two. GPF, yeah. Either give up or push and flow on beat. That's the one. There's an article about how ranchers prohibited the natives from performing prescribed burns, which shaped the ecology of California. That's interesting. It's very interesting. The day vegan burgers don't taste vegan, I'll go vegan. There you go, Sober Trofer. Thank you, my friend, for doing your part as well. There are many vegan burgers that taste like real burgers. They do kind of, but they don't have the right macronutrients. And they're not actually healthy. They taste good, but they are not actually healthy at the moment. I'll have some bomb vegan barbecue sauce though. Okay. I didn't know that barbecue sauce was usually not vegan, interestingly enough. Climate change is really complex problem. I think it's hard to know exactly what trajectory we're on and how technology will be able to help us mitigate that. I feel like today it just comes down to willpower. Yep. I think so as well. And I do see some initiatives being taken to save the world as well, fortunately, Dan. I do see a lot of that. Like the amount, we're already at the point where average governments are spending more money on renewable energy than they're spending on old conventional coal-based energy. Go look it up. It's already happening, friends. If we declare ourselves doomed now, then we're definitely doomed. You're very right as well, Dan, because in accepting something like that, you basically take responsibility from yourself. You know, being like, okay, the world is gone, guess nothing I can do, then you won't even think of something that you could possibly do. A carbon tax in the US and China would instantly solve climate change. Yes, I agree completely, Simon. Ketoacidosis is dangerous though. Yep. Ketoacidosis is only a thing in comatose patients though. Yeah, but if you know what ketoacidosis is, you probably know what that is as well. And the reason ketoacidosis happens. It's about anything other than thinking about how we're owning to our refusal to stop burning fuel for energy. Don't think about it. It's more comfortable. Like I get the narrative you're pushing, Dr. Niggle, but it's a little bit disconnected, if you will. I think you're maybe not listening. That is a set collective, though. Hey, Christine, thank you for joining us. Maybe a solar flare will help us to change. Yeah, a solar flare could like hit our entire planet right now and kill all of our electronics. You know, or ruin everything. It would be pandemonium for a while. How so? Are you? I said, well, what's your living space powered by? Dr. Nagel, like, you're not making sense, friend. Like, it feels like you're extremely tone deaf. Maybe in the way you're trying to communicate, or the things you're not hearing. Like, what do you think we're supposed to do as individuals? We're supposed to, cease eating food because food requires water to grow, or cease living in buildings because buildings are not necessarily carbon neutral. What do you want us to do, Dr. Niggle? Like, since you're on the forefront of judging, if you will, instead of just judging, try and create a solution to this problem. Do problem solving. Problem solving is definitely the way forward. Judging of one another, and especially judging of something like, what is your house powered by? The place you're living in powered by? Like, what do you want that person to do, friend? Cease using energy? Cease using the internet, cease using their cell phones, cease sleeping on their bed because it used energy to be produced? You can't live like that either, dude. Nobody can live like that. I'm doing very well. It's not about a choice though, because it's what I have available. Exactly, friend. It's not all haze, yeah. Because he's not by himself. He has all of us. Thank you so much for being here with me, Edmund. Indeed, you're not responsible for any climate change. We're not saying that, Dr. Niggle. Goodness, friend. Like, I think as well you feel like you're being clever, but but it's coming off in the opposite way of that, friend. Like, I'm getting mildly triggered, just a wee bit. Do bear with me, friends. I don't lose my cool. I'm not gonna lose my cool. I'm not angry. I feel like you're just saying like nonsense, if you will, without suggesting any way to change it. If you can make it better, with suggesting information that could make it better, then maybe something could change. We use a wood-fired force field to provide interwebs. Yeah. Yes, man, I love that. Actually, just thinking about that. Imagine a society in which our electricity and our internet is powered through wood fire. Me going out with an axe. Okay, gonna go and chop some wood for my internet. Part of the system, sure, but I don't have a choice on the individual level, except for my voting rights. Yep. I'm great. That's fantastic. Hey, the Ace. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Mel. Have a wonderful day today. Thank you, friend. I hope you have a wonderful one as well. Mr. Nichols says, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I invested in a $10,000 solar system to power my house and sell excess power back to the grid. But I had to go out of my way to find a contractor to install it. That said, it was out of my control. You see, friend, and like in my entire life, after high school, I've probably made at most $30,000. So not only do you have a house and like probably like savings, you also have the money to spend $10,000 on a solar system. Do you understand that not everybody can do that? And do you understand that in you being in judgment of people that can do that is doubly like unintelligent? Katie, thank you for joining us, my friend. I'm happy that you're here. Not everyone has the option to invest $10,000. Thank you, Edmund. Yeah, I'm happy I'm not the only one getting a mildly. Just I feel like there's this, like, if if the thing I'm feeling, the loving feeling I'm feeling, is this like beautiful molten ball, like this is like a small grater, just like grating at it, trying to get at the core of it. I love you, Mr. Niggle. You're smarter than this, my friend. Factory farming is not evil, okay? It will only become an issue when we allow total overall production to be as high as it is, and that is driven by demand. On the individual basis, industrial intensive animal production is way less polluting than any other way of producing food, I'm guessing you're saying. Yeah, Hayes, you're right, my friend. That's what we like. We need in life and love, yeah. Uh, it's insane. What's up? We had a tax on the sun in my country, and it's extremely hard to get renewable energy on a private individual basis. Yeah. Tax the sun. That makes sense. There's, man, people are gonna, like, I feel like I'm pushed to the level of trigger now, and now hearing something like people tax the sun, it's making me even more triggered. So I'm not going to sit with it. Congratulations on your graduation. I didn't graduate, friend, but I'm guessing you're talking to someone else. Indeed, congratulations. Who, me? Yes, you, Katie. You, our loved friend. What? Sun tax? We get tax write-offs for going solar. Yeah, and that makes me happy at least, Jovan. Serious problem, which you probably demand our attention. Yep. Thanks a lot. Cold there tonight. Not that cold. I feel like it's warmer now than it was a while ago. Is apartheid still unofficially practiced in South Africa? No, not at all. Cute dog, thank you, friend. Thank you for the hugs, Serg. I appreciate that. The thing is, Melt, around 15, I started doing regular workouts until I pass out. Remember that time in teenage where everyone wants to be Mr. Olympia? Yep, I used to be that as well, Vincent. I very thoroughly remember it. During that time of my life, I would eat all of the meals that was provided to me by the hostel, and then I would drink a protein shake that had 2 scoops, so 16 grams of no, yeah, 60 grams of protein. I would break 4 eggs, and I would drink 200 mils of cream, which had about 63 grams of fat in it, in like a single very dense protein shake. I had to get yoked, and you can't do that with plant-based alternatives. Like that amount of food, if you will, in such a small container. It was literally something I could down in 10 seconds. And then I have all of that calories in my being to grow with. There's nothing that you can do that right now with plants. Thank you for the all-seeing upvote on B. I appreciate that. But I only eat eggs and no meat till even now. Okay, we managed to get it hanged. I feel like Jesus was much like yourself. My friend, I believe that in the Bible statement of you need to, or the only way to the afterlife is through Jesus, I think that word or that understanding or that sentence was misconstrued to deify Jesus instead of it being an understanding that if you want to earn the afterlife, as it's depicted in the Bible, you have to live as Jesus. To do as he would do, to live in the way that he would live, and to love in the way that he would love. And that is how you would earn this afterlife, through that way of living, not necessarily through the being himself. I know how the internet works. You can't change it unless you don't want to use it. Even if you use clean energy, it's not clean along the way, most likely. I mean, it depends on time as well, I guess. Solar does have an initial environmental impact, but then after, like, I think 5 years average, it basically mitigates its environmental impact. That saying is great. Your nose close to your stank breath, right? It's a really cool thing just to imagine in that way. It makes sense. Just finished breakfast, but it's time to brush my teeth. There you go, wedding. Go and do that, my friend. Computer to Colonial House 3. Okay, Computer 1, Colonial House 2, 3, Solar Power 4, Peace and Love, Bro 5. I work with my IRL South African friends to be less or not at all dependent on fossil fuels. Okay, Mr. Diggle? Good, my friend. That sounds good to me. All we have to do is try in earnest. Yep, I agree completely, my friend. That is the only thing we can hope to do. Some vegan-based meats have all the essential amino acids, but a lot are full of filler. Unfortunately, that is true, Christine. Melt and many others are absolutely trying. We are trying, and you can just look at the world and look at the content that is popular right now, and look at the news and the general vibe you're getting from that, and what I've been feeling from that basically drove me to do what it is we're doing here right now. To share in a space like this in the way that we are sharing from a place of love, because it's not something I see in the world. It's all of our responsibilities now, Dr. Nagel. I believe we're trying. I think it's important, absolutely. Putting the bar so high to be just vegan, it doesn't have to be healthy. Yeah, at least you're doing vegan. It doesn't have to be healthy. That's hilarious, Simon. Hello, WWE wrestler. Hey, Marta. Maybe I have to go and do WWE. I mean, it worked for The Rock, right? That was where The Rock started. Maybe and for John Cena as well. What would be my stage name? Still Meltmore? I'd probably keep Meltmore. I'll have to have a mask with a big ass M on my forehead though. Almost like the Magneto mask. I'm imagining this way too much. Do I want to be in spandex? At least my legs. Legs have to be in spandex. Maybe bare chest, and then again things on my arms like big ass gloves. All like orange. Like orange, maybe like a gold orange with like purple stripes running through it. I have officially created my WWE persona. It's the only difference we can make, Jovan. Be aware and try. Absolutely. And we're doing that on B. We're already doing that. Like, I think talking about it encouragingly is as powerful as talking negatively is abrasive. Very much so. Very, very much so. And if you're trying to better anything, even if it's the other person's life, doing so in an encouraging way is going to be the way. There is this understanding between masculine and feminine understandings of way of learning, where the feminine wants to be encouraged and praised, where the masculine wants to be broken down to prove himself. But I don't think living in the masculine mindset is something that's sustainable anymore. I'm not saying, kill men. I'm talking very specifically about the masculine mindset, because the consumerism we're seeing in the world right now, the task-oriented only, is very much masculine nature. Please don't put suggestions into my interpretations of your narrative. Dr. Nigel, you're not giving enough information, dude. That's the thing. Like, I'm receiving really rough information from you. Look at these monsters. Really rough information from you, so I'm trying to extrapolate. That's exactly what you are doing. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Auntie. I didn't want to say that, because I felt that was a judgment in its own. Kiki, relax. Relax now. Jammer toch. Hallo, Eva. Hello, my liefie Joan. Hello. Relax. Jammer toch. That a niner. It's so nice to see you, friend. How have you been? What you're doing? Sure, you are heard. There we go. Yes, I am listening on B. I'm trying to. I suspect he might be the actual doctor. Might be an actual doctor. Just saying. Deep breath. You think so, Fat Niner? I highly doubt that, unfortunately. But after studying nutrition for years, I would have to say that a well-rounded diet of sustainable protein sources are what's best for humans. Very much so. Thank you for sharing your experience as well, Christine. Give me my brain wants more of your words. Me too, actually. I wanna know. Kiki and Eva. Wat maak julle? Eva. She's like literally looking into the house barking. Eva? Yeah. Stop it. Oh, there might be a snake. What's in here? What's it? I think she's seeing something now. What's in here also? Hmm? What's in here? No, it's nothing. False alarm. I hope. Most people do not consume enough fiber and are addicted to high fat, high sugar foods. Fun fact, in North America, the average person consumes 85 grams of sugar per day and less than 10 grams of fiber. That's ridiculous. Ooh, yeah. Sugar is basically completely cut out of my diet at this point now. That is crazy, Gloomy. Hi, Melton friends. I'm here for a few moments to help ungrate that love back to where it normally is. Thank you. I've been filled back up. Thank you, Dame. I appreciate you so much. Crazy how everybody in the US has diabetes, but nobody talks about diabetes. Some people talk about diabetes. Yeah, it's not funny. It's not no laughing matter actually. Diabetes is a very significant problem in today's society. And it's literally because of the overconsumption of sugar. You're basically pressing this button on your pancreas, produce insulin, produce insulin, produce insulin. And then at some point it's like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. You've overpressed that button and then it just kind of stops working. And then you have to take insulin. It's not the way, taking into consideration what we feed our kids from a very young age and what we make them used to is going to be a big step in saving the world from ourselves as well, saving our kids from their own medical fates. Hey, Nate, thank you for joining us, my friend. Isn't that like the top 3 causes of death there? Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. I believe that. Been here about 2 and 3 minutes, and I've got many thoughts, but too many to even begin on the tax of the sun, vegan, solar power, etc. I'll say for another day. Please do, Dave. Yeah, we've talked about a lot today. It's been quite a full stream. The current guidelines recommend less than 24 grams of sugar per day. For me, it's less than 5 grams. I can only eat 5 grams of sugar and a total of 25 grams of carbohydrates. So technically still sugar, but like that includes my vegetables and stuff as well. Oh, I guess the great 90s commercial of the guy who used to say, I'm Walter and I have diabetes, didn't reach Canada. You see, I'm so happy that you shared that with him as well, Dave, because that's the first thing that I was thinking about. Yeah, 24 grams in a single Coke. Literally, Jovan, that's the crazy part about it. I've got a meeting at 12, so I'm out of here in a few minutes too. I'm also like trying to get to the end of the stream, and I'm still like 7 minutes behind. Thank you, Simon, for joining me for as long as you did, friend. In America, the FDA is a joke, so most people don't even realize what they're consuming. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true. On B. Which topic do you guys discuss on? Oh, we discussed today's topic, I feel, was environmental concern. Maybe like a just topic for today, friend. It was a good one. If you want to see it, it's going to be still here on Reddit, but it's also going to be on the YouTube channel. Gosh, corn syrup. I must multiply that at least 3 to 4 times. Yeah, and corn syrup goes in everything. People put so much corn syrup and stuff. Noon meeting at the best, she said sarcastically. In the 90s, there were great PSAs. No Addies PSAs are usually satire. Yeah, nowadays PSAs, yeah, public service announcements are usually satire. You're very right about this as well. People aren't taking it seriously anymore. Gigamelt getting yoked. Man, like I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm fit again. I think I can now at this point say that I am again fit. Like sitting down, I don't have any rolls up to here. Like I have a small one still here, but like this is now completely flat. I don't have excess fat around my chest anymore. You don't care, I know, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to talk about the balancing again. I was very overweight again just a year ago, and I have photos of that. And every time I look at them, I'm horrified. I look forward to sharing with you friends at the end of this year. Is that what being a Christian actually means? And religion will never get anywhere close to heaven. Oh, yes, very much so, friend. I'm guessing you're still talking about the Jesus comment that you made. For me, I think that's what religion is supposed to be, at least. You know, all of these attachments, like Muhammad and Jesus and the Buddha, I believe were essentially connected to the same source in a very divine way, and they were trying to share essentially the same understanding of things, you know, in their different languages, in their different cultures, in their different biases as well, and that we can do the same. Like, we're all at the end of the day equal in that way. So you're telling me I've been overachieving on a daily basis? Yes. Yes, and continue to do so. Dang. Maybe not in the sugar, but hey, overachieving nonetheless. What do you, what to do when your own community and people discard you and shame you? I've been thinking about that, Vinny. You know, it's something I've had in my mind as a feeling, you know, and I think again it's just my egoic consciousness not wanting me to be happy about something. Instead of being happy about this loving community I have, there would be this feeling of fear, of resentment or rejection by this community that I love. And I think if anything it is just our egoic inability to accept love for the sake of love. And that's why I try and remind myself as much as I possibly can that love is true. You know, I don't have to believe it because I already know it. I love coming into live chat and seeing all of the faces, okay, usernames that feel like faces of such lovely people. And we love seeing your face as well, Dame. Thank you, my friend. Kiki, man, she's like running this close to my glass every single time and she's like sprinting. Do Christian women have to wear headscarves when they're praying? No, I don't think they do, friend. Most people are also so focused on adding protein to their diet, and they're wrong. They need to focus on fiber. A high fiber diet pulls out LDL cholesterol from your body. If you want to build muscle, then you do need protein as well, Gloomy Sunshine. I think it's like depending on the individual person, but fiber is very important. You are right. You're overachieving. It's time to turn in, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Vincent. I hope you have a good one as well. Okay, I'm punching out. Take care, everyone. Cheers, Simon. Thank you for joining us for as long as you did, friend. Oh, I'm 9 minutes behind again. Little did I know you friends aren't letting me leave today. Do Christian. I've already read one. See you, Simon. Lower cholesterol helps lower chances of heart disease, which is the number one killer in the States. Yep, yep, yep. No, they don't marry. No, they don't marry? Oh, yeah. I think the question that was asked twice. Thank you for letting her know as well, Aunt B. I want to show you my fridge and pantry. I'm working at church, so I can't really turn the sound up. But I just wanted to say, hey, Epona, thank you, my friend, for joining us again. It's been a while. I know you can't hear me, but I'm sending you love. What's your favorite cyst? I don't have a favorite cyst. I've never been asked that question. Cyst Blaster. Cyst Blaster Extra Juicy is your name. What the... What? I'm a picture person. I'm gonna stop picturing it right now. Like, it's either so. Oh, I'm like getting goosebumps. Either someone that blasts cysts, or someone that has a cyst blaster. Like, shoots this thing at you, and then suddenly you have a cyst somewhere in your body, and that's even worse. Favorite cyst? Yeah, I was also confused, Edmund. Damn, treats are okay every now and then, not a multiple times per day. There we go. Actually, so yes, there are certain types of Christians who do, and there still seem older, boomer plus ages, and some churches who cover, but it is indeed rare. I didn't even know that, Dame. I've never experienced that. But like, as far as I know, Mother of Jesus actually is wearing a headscarf. I don't know about that as well. Mary Marty, it seems like you're, if anything, trying to confirm a bias that you have. I'm glad you can't see me blushing right now. I pushed the box of Cheez-Its into my desk drawer. I don't know what you're talking about. I suppose there are some uh, denominations that do, but the majority of Christians don't. Thank you for letting us know as well, Edmund. Bingo in the back, being all deaf and blind was the goodest boy. Yeah, Bingo is just like doing things. I don't know, like if he has a pattern of doing things. He just kind of does things, and he always looks so lost. Always trying to just give him some pets. You slash the you show. What's the point? I don't know if you're trying to tag me, friend. You're using a medium to discourage the destruction which has infrastructure it is based on. I support that. You should think on it and continue your ideology. I'm not using this medium to do anything other than sharing love, friend, sharing a space in which we can communicate effectively. I'm not claiming anything I'm saying is true. I'm not claiming I know something that is, some sort of secret information and just me know it and just me have access to it and you do this and this and this and then you can get this information as well. No, that's not what we're doing here, friend. This is an open place for discourse and communication and discussion. I used to suspect he might not be an actual said I suspect, oh, he might not. I'm sorry, Niner. It went right over my head. Maybe it was supposed to create some fluctuation in me, if anything. I live and grew up in the Bible Belt, going to the Baptist churches, and I've never seen headscarves, but probably just in my area. Yeah, same thing on B. Also grew up in that way. Also in a Baptist church. Also no headscarves. Kiki! Kiki! She's like chewing her disgusting bones here next to my blanket. Getting chips of bone on the blanket. Ego Edmund, what? Imagine wearing a scarf that can hold your, yet think stop microscopic virus from going through it. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, friend. Fortunately, liquids are pretty small, and you get cloth that has like filtrations down to like 0.02 microns or 2 microns, you know. So air and water can very efficiently pass through, but it can keep out some contaminants. Oh, Coco, Jesus, I'm not that doing good, Mel. Just waiting for some storms rolling in. I hear you, Niner. I hope that you can weather them, if you will. Would you go on a date with me? RJ, like I've already said no, friend. I'm taking a break from dating. Maybe in a while. A long while. Very, very long while. Never saw notice in Baptist churches, but my mom grew up Catholic, and they'll cover when she was young, visiting the Catholic churches when in Europe, and they are so prudy. Saw older women cover sometimes, but still rare. Yeah, that's weird, Dame. Thank you for letting us know that as well. Like you have an in tomorrow, same time, same place. It's a date. Yeah, there we go. You have a date. RJ Jovan has taken the baton from me. Thank you. Thank you so much for freeing me, Jovan. I'm forever in your debt. You guys are great. I'm gonna go and get some yard work done. Poison ivy. Oh, the stream dropped. I guess I don't have a choice in it then. Thank you, friends, for joining me for as long as you did. I appreciate you sharing the space with me as always. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.